The Twilight Registry. Case file TR 8847. Submitted evidence. Intake ledger. County Coroner Facility. Halverson County. November through December. Submitted by anonymous facility employee. Classification: unresolved. Margaux Dellacroix had worked the overnight intake desk at Halverson County's sole morgue for 11 years. She was not a superstitious woman. She was, in fact, deeply practical. The kind of person who kept a laminated checklist beside the intake form and crossed each item with the same mechanical satisfaction other people reserve for finishing a crossword. Name. Time of arrival. Cause listed. County log number. Photograph confirmation. 11 years. Not one discrepancy. The night of November 14th, she counted 23 bodies. The county log, the official document, the one that fed into the state database, the one signed by 2 senior staff, read 22. She went back to the cooler. She walked the rows. She touched each numbered handle, said the number aloud, the way her supervisor had taught her in her first week. You say it out loud, so the number lives somewhere outside your head, so you can't convince yourself you miscounted. 1, 2, 3. She reached the end of the row. 23 handles. 23 bay doors. 23 cold steel faces. If she opened them. She didn't open the last one. She went back to the desk. She compared her tally sheet against the log. The log was complete. The log accounted for every intake that evening. A car accident. 2 natural causes. 1, drowning. 4 bodies. Added to the 19 already in residence that she had herself verified at the start of her shift. 23. The log said 22. She checked the log for the prior shift. The prior shift supervisor, a man named Ruben Haas, with 19 years on the job, had verified 19 bodies at the start of her shift. His initials were there. His count was there. She phoned him. He answered on the 3rd ring, gravel-voiced and half asleep. She told him what she had. There was a long pause. Then Ruben said, "Your count is wrong, Margaux. Go back and recount." She went back and recounted. 23. She told him. Ruben hung up. At 3:41 a.m., Ruben arrived at the facility. He did not sign in at the front desk. He did not speak to Margaux. He walked directly to the cooler, did his own count, came back out, and stood in the hallway with his arms crossed, staring at the wall. "Ruben," she said, "what did you get?" 22, he said. She stared at him. "I'm standing right here, and I counted 23. Then you miscounted," he said. His voice was flat, not defensive, just flat. The way a person sounds when they've decided something, and the deciding is already over. "Which drawer is wrong?" she asked. "Walk me through it. Point to the one that isn't supposed to be there." He didn't answer. He filled out a maintenance request for a cooler inspection, signed his name at the bottom, and left. The cooler inspection happened 4 days later. The maintenance technician found no mechanical issues. The technician's report noted 22 occupied bays. Margaux submitted a formal discrepancy report. It was returned to her 2 days later with a sticky note that said, "Counting error. No action needed." She kept her own ledger from that point forward. Over the next 6 weeks, she noted the discrepancy 7 more times, always one more than the official count, always in the same row. The far right wall, the deepest cooler section, bays 20 through 28. She began to notice something else. The extra body, if she let herself call it that, was never in the same bay twice. The handle would be different each time. She developed a system. At the start of each shift, she noted which handles were warm to the touch from recent use and which were uniformly cold. The extra one was always cold, always had been cold. Cold in a way that felt less like refrigeration and more like the absence of something that had never been warm. On December 9th, she opened it. The drawer was empty. She stood there for a long time. Then she closed it, walked back to her desk, and wrote in her ledger, "Bay 27. Empty. Cold. Drawer mechanism fully functional. Contents? None." She wrote one more line beneath it, which the registry has preserved verbatim from her submitted notes. "Whatever I am counting is not a body, or it is a body, and it is mine, and I have not noticed yet." Margaux submitted her ledger to the registry in January, postmarked from a P.O. box in a neighboring county. She included a note, "I want someone to know before I stop being able to say it." The registry attempted to contact her 3 times by the return address she provided. Each letter was returned unopened, marked "Not at this address." We contacted Halverson County's Public Records Office and requested intake logs for the relevant period. The logs they provided covered November 14th through December 15th. All entries showed 22 occupied bays at the close of shift. Every shift. No discrepancies noted. Reuben Haas retired in January, 6 weeks after the events Margaux described. His exit interview, obtained through a records request, contains one unusual line. Under the question, "Is there anything else the department should know before your departure?" Reuben wrote, "I have been counting wrong since November. I don't know what the right number is. I don't think I want to." The registry has made 3 attempts to locate Margaux Dellacroix. "We found her DMV record, active license, current address on file. We found her professional certification, still valid. We found a bank account with a regular direct deposit from the county, which tells us she remained employed through at least the middle of February. We have not found her. We returned to the facility in March. We asked to speak with overnight intake staff. The woman at the desk, a new hire, 8 weeks on the job, name badge reading Tessa, said she had never heard of Margaux Dellacroix. We asked if she was familiar with the discrepancy reports from November. Tessa said she wasn't. We asked if she ever noticed any irregularities with the bay count. Tessa was quiet for a moment. Then she said, "I'm only supposed to count to 22. We asked who told her that. It was in the orientation, she said. The trainer said, the bays only go to 22. Don't go past 22. We asked who the trainer was. She checked her paperwork. The trainer's name was Margaux Dellacroix. The Twilight Registry has no further information on this case. Bay 27 of the Halverson County Morgue remains listed in facility blueprints. The county intake log does not acknowledge it. We have tried to verify whether the bay was sealed, decommissioned, or removed. Maintenance records show no such work order. Whatever Margaux counted in that drawer, it has been counted once and not again. Whatever she was afraid she would find, she found it on the last page of her own ledger, in a handwriting the registry's document analyst confirmed was consistent with her own, but pressed so hard the pen had torn through 2 sheets beneath. It said, "Stop counting after 22. It's easier that way." We do not know when she wrote it. We do not know who or what she wrote it for. The Twilight Registry. Case file TR 8847. Status unresolved. If you have information about Halverson County facility records from the relevant period, or if you have worked overnight intake at any county facility and noticed a count that didn't match, reach out. We are still counting.